So, I was just perusing Amazon the other day, as in yesterday, after we recorded previous episodes. So one thing I like to make sure I have for the holidays is just cologne, because it's like, I don't want to smell bad at a big gathering of people, obviously. And I realized that my normal cologne that smells like cigars could be off-putting to people that don't like the smell of cigars.
Yeah, I could feel that. As a smoker, I well know the look you get of somebody who's like, you're upsetting me with how you smell right now.
Yeah, it's like, I love that cologne. I think I use it normally, like whenever I go out, just generally. But I want to get one that isn't so, you either like it or you hate it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I went on Amazon, I just typed in cologne, right? So
yeah.
And you one of the things you see is obviously the expensive ones, which I'm not going to get because I'm not a baller like that.
I wear perfume.
Okay.
I mean, I just that was a statement.
I mean, cologne is just male perfume. It's not,
I don't think it's even gendered. I just like to smell pretty. And I'm currently using Endless Sea from Bed Bath & Beyond. For backup to that, I have Butterflies from Bed Bath & Beyond. And as backup to that, I have not Vampire Blood. It's called like Dark Night or something. It's from their Halloween stuff from Bed Bath & Beyond.
So when I was looking it up, of course, you have these weird colognes that are more like soap bars. I don't understand what that is.
I don't either, but I know what you're talking about.
You have the regular ones that are like moderately priced, which is like, I don't know, $20 for like a decent bottle. You have like a $10 bottle kind of things. Those are moderate. Of course, the expensive ones I'm talking about are like $80, and I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But the ones that like intrigue me the most, because I just want to smell good, right? I don't want anything fancy with it. Just want to smell good.
I think that's what we all want, really.
Yeah. But when you type in cologne on Amazon, on the first like line of just searches or results, there's something called pheromone cologne. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I have. Also, have you ever noticed how like in the last like decade, there, in terms of like marketing things to men, which I've always thought it was weird, how there's like super thirst quenching drink packet for boys. It's like, all right, sure, yeah. If a woman drinks it, she just grows a dick or she dies. But it's like what's the point of that marketing? But you'll see one that's just like a great company, but one of the ones that like immediately comes to mind too actually are Dr. Squash or something. It's like supposed to be like a play on Sasquatch and Doctor that make like male hygiene products, and then also Manscaped, the like ball shaving razors. It's like there's like this weird like influx now of all these products that are like that their whole marketing ploy is just kind of like being ridiculous, and I think it's kind of funny.
Well, I would like to delve further into that, but
yes. Please do.
You know what pheromone cologne is, right?
I'm familiar with it, yeah. It's supposed to, like, attract people to you, like, quote unquote.
Yes, and it's very interesting, because, like, I clicked on it, I'm like, what the fuck is this supposed to do? And it has a bunch of different scents in it. Like, it has lavender, elemi, whatever. It has a bunch of different ones. I don't know what it actually smells like, because I only know what 3 of these are. But if you go to the reviews, the reviews are really funny to me, because it'd be like, I use this. It's my favorite cologne. I put it on and I immediately had 10 women knock around me. And I'm just like, okay, you're clearly making fun of it. And then there's like the regular ones that are like, yeah, I can't really tell if it worked or if I think it worked because I was wearing it. But it's doing all right, so I'm going to keep using it. And then there's some people that are like, this did not turn me into a god. I did not get turned into a male god with the women surrounding me. 0 stars.
Now,
I love
I don't
it.
want
It's
to
so funny.
necessarily like put a brand on blast, but I did find one of these on Amazon, and it may be the one that
Is it the red one?
yeah, that's in a red.
Yeah,
That's got
yeah.
a very specific word scrawled in black across the front of it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to get it just for the meme, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it smells like. I don't know what it smells like.
we're not. Don't worry, everybody. We're not gonna talk about this brand, but if you read the box, I really think that's all you need to know. It's just the name of the company is enough to understand their marketing strategy.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, right, is even if the pheromone part isn't all what it's supposed to be, right, it's still very highly rated. So it has to smell good to some extent, right?
I do want to point out that is important, and you are correct, and that I have found nothing on this page that tells me what this smells like.
Go to the top and then look at scent.
Scent.
It's under the price
It
next to the
just says
picture.
bold.
What do you mean?
It says scent bold.
Bro, I'm gonna link you my link because I don't know if you're getting it, dude.
I guess we're on different pheromone perfumes here or colognes here. No, it's the same brand. It's just different.
Oh, you're
ones.
on the mini bottles.
Oh, whoops.
That's funny.
Okay, yes,
Bold.
this one.
Do you see like all of the different additions in there?
I also want to point out that some of the stuff in this is like food in terms of scent.
Yeah. But
Also, some of this doesn't sound
it's interesting.
real. I want to look up some of the. What is geranium? Oh, it's a flower. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a flower.
What is ambroxan? That also doesn't sound like a real thing.
Sounds like a spice.
We'll find out with my key searching skills. Widely known by the name ambroxan, is a naturally occurring terpenoid and one of the key constituents responsible for the odor of ambergris. You know, like the fucking whale guts? Like the fatty whale guts out of like their liver or something? Yeah, it's ambergris. Smell like a dead whale.
Interesting, but that probably has something to do with the pheromone part.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Because when I smell dead whales, I just want to fuck.
It is very interesting because I don't plan on keeping my beard shaved because I like having a beard. One of my favorite things to use.
Oil?
No. One of my favorite things to use is like sandalwood beard oil and sandalwood beard balm. And when you use that stuff, it is almost overpowering to where you don't need anything else.
Yeah.
But when you don't have it, it's kind of like, damn, I don't know if I'm smelling good today.
For me, it's weird. I need it. As anyone watching can see, my beard is very... It's very Ulysses... Not Ulysses S. Grant. What was that one fucking president that had like the giant mutton chops? Anyway... I think we actually had this conversation on one of our first episodes. But I need the oil, but I can't stand the feeling. When I like put it on my beard, I'm like, ugh, I know my beard's all like slick and oily, and I just feel like, ugh.
Well, I don't have that problem because I don't mess with it as much as you do.
Yeah, it's one of my tics now that I've developed, which we've discussed. But yeah, that's definitely part of the problem. If I could just throw it on and be like, cool, done. But since I spend all day being like,
but yeah, I just thought it was interesting because, there's also all these other brands that are doing the same thing.
Also, there is this that I have to send you that I got recommended off that other one. What? Alpha Brain.
Okay, yeah.
But at least this one's for men and women.
Okay, so would you like to do our introductions for us, and then we can
Yes,
go into
I
that
will.
other thing?
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Fluffy Biscuits podcast. I am one of your hosts, Zach. You can find me at Pixelated Trash, and I am joined by my good friend Jacob. You can find him at NazirTL. You can also find him on a lot of social medias you can't find me on, such as
Twitter,
TikTok, and Twitter. I had him in my head, and then I immediately lost him. So I was like, "Oh no!" You can also find him on Neopets at NazirTL, and you can find his Maple Story account at the One Big Hog.
That's fine. I do have a Maple Story account from when I was younger.
Didn't Neopets get bought by a bunch of Scientologists?
I don't know, but I do have an answer for your why is things marketed like for men, stuff like that. I do have an answer for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the answer you think it is, but here's what I've noticed. Okay, now hear me out on this.
Mm-hmm.
The newer generation, like me and younger, we don't really care. I think you as well. You don't really care if it's like for men. We're just like, is it cool? Does it do the thing it says it does? Okay, we'll get it. I have noticed a bunch of older men that are like, I don't know, 50 and up. Just throughout like my life, which is, 25 years, whatever. I've seen them, and they will go out of their way to avoid things that look slightly feminine. Mm-hmm. I've seen someone to the extent wait or like specifically go wash a plate so they don't have to eat off of a plate that has flowers on it.
That's pretty funny, actually.
It is
dumb
funny,
as hell, but pretty funny. And I have actually an answer for you. Before selling the company to Viacom in 2005, from its inception to 2004, Neopets' then CEO, investor, and Scientologist Doug Doring utilized L. Ron Hubbard's trademark business model, Org Board, while overseeing the company. So yes, not only was it run by a Scientologist, it was run using a literal Scientologist-like structure. Which is wild to think about. But it was only from like 2000 to 2004 or 5. Then after that, they sold it off to not Scientologists.
Hey man, fucking Neopets wasn't anything. It was Club Penguin.
Neopets was my favorite. Club Penguin came out a little too young for me, because I think it came out a couple years after Neopets, or it took off a couple years after Neopets. And also, my whole thing for Neopets was just that, like, it was kind of mindless. It was just kind of like, you named your pet, you fed it some candy. If you were blessed by the gods, you get a paintbrush to slap it with. I spent like probably 5 years in that game never getting any of the paintbrushes, and all I would do was sit on websites looking at all the different paintbrushes you could use on your Neopets, and I would be so sad. Same with the Neopet pets. I never got a pet. Always wanted a pet. I should play Neopets again.
I did, like, I played Club Penguin, I played Toontown, I played Neopets for a little bit, but then I started playing Dungeons and Dragons online, and that's where I became who I am, I think.
I think I'm probably similar, except I took the exact, like, kind of not the exact same turn, but in the other direction. So it was like a Y. There was a Y that way and a Y that way. Because I switched from Neopets to WoW and stuff.
I have a very strange experience, right?
On Neopets?
So when YouTube, no, when YouTube was first becoming a thing, I used to always watch this one YouTuber, and I believe his name was like Nintendo Capri Sun. He's not a big YouTuber; he's very small, but he was like,
is he still around?
I don't know. I'll look it up while I'm talking to you. But he did a lot of Zelda games, and I always watch his playthroughs. So
he is still around with 400,000 subscribers.
He's way bigger now than he was back then. I'm surprised he's still making stuff. But the thing that was interesting was I had never seen any like D&D content, and he has a very like specific type of voice. Like, for instance, if I heard you in a video game, I would know it was you.
Yeah.
So I remember playing Dungeons and Dragons online, and the thing is it's free, but if you want like special quests, you have to buy passes for that dungeon or something. Mm-hmm. Or you could also buy guest passes for other people, like your friends, to go in. I'm just a kid. I'm playing the game, playing as a rogue, doing stuff. and I was like, I want to party up with people. So I don't know. I was really young during this, but I party up with
paid
this
attention, but I don't think I caught what game it is you're talking about.
Dungeons Dragons Online.
Oh, okay.
I queue up, get in the party. We go to a dungeon, we do it. They're like, "This is crazy. You're pretty good." I'm like, "Cool." And then like this game had voice chat, which was my first encounter with voice chat, so I didn't have a microphone or anything. I'm just typing. I'm like, click, 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 click. And then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this dungeon. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, I don't have money to buy anything. So they would take me through dungeons and just buy me guest passes so they could clear them.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I was like, this is epic. Because I'm sitting over here, I'm like, 10 or something, playing this game. And these people are so generous. And I'm like, this is probably why I like D&D, because I had this experience.
Yeah.
But one of the people in that party literally has the same voice as Nintendo Capri Sun, so like to the extent where like when I was young, I'm like, it has to be him. This has to be him. Because all the stuff that Nintendo Capri Sun played back then also fits the vibe of he would enjoy D&D.
I feel that. And you're talking about that free to play like online game. Like you're not talking about playing D&D online. You're talking about playing the game D&D.
The game, like the MMO.
Yeah. I did look it up because that's what I was so confused about this whole time. We talk about going into dungeon stuff. I was like, I don't think you have to pay to do a dungeon in D&D.
No. So yeah, there's D&D online, and then it gets updates. I don't know if it still gets updates, but it got updates for a long time.
Yeah, when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it's still active, but I can't find any information on... Like, I found when the last expansion came out, but it didn't have a date. Like, I found that there have been expansions, but they didn't have dates.
Hey,
I know they also have
it's still getting updated. It's still getting... I literally went to their website. The last update, it says Update 63, Illithid Invasion, October 31st, 2023.
Oh, shit.
And it'll release November 1st.
I kind of figured that might have died off after, and I don't know how popular it is anymore. I know it was for a little bit, but Neverwinter Nights, the like MMO.
Yeah, that came because of the success of this one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like Neverwinter Nights.
I did not either, but
Neverwinter.
I also did not play D&D online. I only had played Neverwinter Nights, the actual game by BioWare.
Yeah.
I had never played an MMO D&D game, so I thought it was fun, but it was kind of bare bones.
Well, I don't know. Is Neverwinter Nights a different game? Because the Neverwinter MMO is just Neverwinter. Like Dungeons & Dragons is Neverwinter.
Yeah. Neverwinter Nights is a different game. It's two games that were made by BioWare in like 2004 and 2006.
Okay, because that's different.
No, I know. I'm saying the MMO Neverwinter I've also played. I'm saying it felt really bare bones.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had a friend on PlayStation who got really into it, and he kept asking me to play it with him, and finally I did.
Yeah, I think the thing that made it so popular is that it was on consoles and is on consoles. It still probably gets updates too. Let's be honest. Yeah, I mean it got Spelljammer stuff, which is something that's decently new.
Yeah, Neverwinter definitely still gets updates. A lot of games you probably don't think about still get updates. For instance, like if I told you that Lord of the Rings Online is still running and getting updates, Star Wars Star Trek Online.
Oh my gosh! Okay, wait, hold up. Lord of the Rings Online. You want to know something funny?
What?
Lord of the Rings Online and Dungeons and Dragons Online are made by the same company.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're also made by like the same people who do like Star Trek Online and a bunch of other like...
Did you know that if you had an account for Lord of the Rings Online, you could not make one with the same email for Dungeons and Dragons Online because it's already in their system that you have an account? So you had to go through and make a new email.
Yeah, so for anyone who is curious, while they have some other ones that I haven't heard of, some of the popular games that this company has made have made PlanetSide 2, DC Universe Online, Magic the Gathering Tactics, Star Wars Clone Wars Adventures, Peggle Knights, Bejeweled 2. They did a bunch of ports, so they didn't necessarily make Peggle or Bejeweled. But they also did The Matrix Online. They did EverQuest and EverQuest 2. They did EverQuest Online Adventures. They did Star Wars Galaxies, if anyone remembers that. They did Lords of EverQuest, Champions of Norath, Champions Return to Arms. Those are PlayStation 2 games set in the D&D world. So yeah, they made a lot of games. But they did also make Lord of the Rings Online. So that's kind of wild. It seems like all they do is make like not cash grab, but like what's it called? Like IP MMOs, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
or they publish a lot of them at least.
It's not such a bad thing because, like, the one thing I think I enjoyed about D&D Online, I don't think I'd ever go back and play it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it compared to the games I play now is non-existent. And while I have nostalgia, like, I love that game, I would not have fun playing it again.
I feel that, the only game I feel like I don't feel that for, now it's been shut down for literally 12 years, but Star Wars Galaxies. Now, I got Star Wars Galaxies Gold Edition, so it was with, like, all of the expansions, like, 3 years before the server shut down, and I played that shit, like, every fucking day. I loved Star Wars Galaxies. It was like, I was a little too young to get in on this, but it reminded me very much of like a Star Wars branded version of Ultima Online, where it's like the economy is kind of like player run, and it's kind of like Eve, but everybody playing does it suck. And so it's like you can like, you start like your own little people that are like your groups, factions is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like guilds and stuff.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I was a huge fan of it. But it it
had 95% of people liked it, so
I would say this, it had the same thing that almost every MMO has, and that is why my favorite MMO is basically Fallout 76, is that I just can't handle the hundreds and hundreds of people crowded around all the time. It's like I just can't anymore. I don't know why, but it's like back in the day.
You like shards. You don't like the massive thing. The massive server. You like shards where it's like, you're all in the same place, but you're like in different little shards of the same place, so not everyone is visible unless you add them to your group.
Yeah, that's one way to do it, and then the way Fallout does it is they just highly limit the server numbers on because I play on PlayStation, and they just highly limit the server numbers, where it's like instead of I think PC might go up to like 100. I don't know if I have played it on PC, but only briefly. But on the console, it only goes up to like 24 people in a server. So it's like a huge map, but you've only got 24 people there at any time, and so it's not like you're just constantly in these waves of people, which was another problem I had with Elder Scrolls Online. Is it was also the same way, where you would just hit a location or an area and I'd just be surrounded by people, and it's just like, it's like I just need a little bit of space. I'll talk to all of y'all at some point, but I just need a little bit of space.
I was so hyped for Elder Scrolls Online. Like, I didn't have a computer that could run it. Then it came out on Xbox like a year later, so I got it, played it. I love it in a way, but it let me down, because while all the lore is technically Elder Scrolls, the way that they originally sold it was almost as if it was we all understood it was an MMO, but we almost thought it was going to be more like Skyrim meets MMO than just MMO with lore from Elder Scrolls. Because all ZeniMax did was put all that lore in there and put it over a skin of an MMO. I will always say this, I might have said it before, I love the giant PvP battles in ESO.
Yes, that was fun. I'll say this about the what do you call it? Help me out here. About ESO is that Bethesda made Skyrim.
Yeah.
Essentially. They made Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas was Obsidian. And then they made Fallout 76. They gave ZeniMax the full ability to make ESO. They had no, whereas like Fallout 4, ZeniMax is credited, but they're credited for like additional work, whereas they're not, or 76, sorry, not 4. But with 76, it was, like, for instance, ESO isn't even made in the same engine that like Skyrim and stuff was made in. It's made in like a shittier, more bare bones engine. Whereas if you compare that, Fallout 76, while far from the best looking or best running game, feels a lot more like Fallout because it's in the same engine that Fallout 4 is in, just like an upscaled version of that engine. It's still the creative engine. Whereas the engine that ESO ran on, I literally can't even find the name of. So, and also that's the thing too, is that it's like, it didn't feel like ESO. It felt like a shitty World of Warcraft. Because it's like, or actually honestly, like a shitty like D&D Online, where you would stand there with the staff and you would just attack. You would just hold the button, right? Yeah. And then you would have like 4 spells or skills you could use. And it was just, I don't know, it wasn't nearly as expansive and fun the way that Elder Scrolls is. And I've said this before, but I think that they did a much better job putting Fallout into an online game than they did ESO, especially when it first started. It had like the races were like locked, you know what I mean? You had to pick like a faction and then you could only play that faction, and then they re-released it as Tamriel Unlimited. But sorry, I think to jump on your point there.
I do think I would go back and play ESO though.
I have a couple times. It's not terrible. I just prefer Fallout's one of those games where it is so unlike most MMOs that I completely get where a person who loves MMOs wouldn't like it, but for me, it's exactly what I need to stay invested in an MMO. I actually completed like one of those fucking 1 to 100 like scoreboards where you earn like extra stuff for every time you rank up and you do like daily challenges. I have not done a single one of those ever. I've never completed one. The closest I got was like halfway through a Rocket League one, but I've done 2 of them on Fallout 76 because I'm just really invested. And I'm like, oh man, you're going to give me a cat that finds change for me? Awesome.
I would play Fallout 76. I like Fallout. I just don't have anyone to play it with.
That's fair. If you were on PlayStation, I'd play it with you, but I know you are not.
Yeah, no, I don't own a console, and I don't plan to unless it's a Nintendo console.
I thought you did own a Switch.
I did, and I sold it to go to a... Funny enough, I sold it to go to a Fallout-themed Airsoft event.
Well, that's ironic.
I love that event. Okay. I'm a side note. If you think you would enjoy Airsoft, you need to come up here for that Airsoft event because it's in, like, Chesapeake. Mm-hmm. So it's not far.
So you're going to throw me straight to the bay?
No. So, you know, it's a few hours away from me. Of course, it'd be longer from you or for you. Yeah. But if you go to Chesapeake, there's a place called Ballahack. They have Rev and Fertile Crescent. Rev is in the winter. Fertile Crescent is in the summer.
Yeah, you have a YouTube video from a couple years ago that's titled like Rev.
I do have
like that.
I have multiples of these, but my favorite. So I would never go to the Fertile Crescent because it's in a swamp, and I'm not going to deal with mosquitoes, snakes, or anything like that. I am not. I don't want to deal with the heat because it gets fucking hot. But Rev, which is it's Revelations, it'll be in the winter. So if I was going this year, I'd literally be leaving next week or like in a week or two. But essentially you can pay for like 2 days. It's like $100, which sounds like a lot, but you have to also account for at the end of the day, they order pizza for everyone that goes. They also, it enters you into a raffle. And all the currency on the field, because you're on the field from 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. So you're going to be on the field as it's turning dark. And when it hits dark, you're pretty much done. It's open world. There's NPCs you can talk to, quests you can do. And like the goal is almost every year to either extract or make a shelter with certain quest items. And while you're on the field, there's snacks, food, energy drinks, free water, but all the currency is just bottle caps. And they give you bottle caps to start with, and you get bottle caps from killing other players. You can loot them, or you can do quests, you can do all this. So, like, if you think about it, right, you're like, if you pay the $100, of course you get to go to this event, and there's a lot of people, like there's 1,000 people every year on this field. Whole field is active, and all that food and stuff on the field is essentially free because you're just giving them bottle caps as well. Of course it's paid. It's like, it's one of those things where, like, of course it evens out because everyone's paying so much money, but like at the same time, I would pay that much money to go there even if they weren't doing the food and drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen things like that. I got taken to something like that, but it was for paintball when I was like 14. I would say this. It's something that interests me in a lot of levels, and I have two problems with that. One, I don't like getting shot. Two, I've seen from your footage what you guys wear, right? When you're like doing it for protection and everything, right? And I have one problem is that I don't get to know when I'm gonna shit fast enough that the concept of being locked in body armor essentially and being like, oh, I've got 30 seconds to get to the bathroom,
just so
or
you know,
I'm gonna ruin this for everybody.
Just so you know, I was not wearing body armor.
Fair.
I was just wearing a hoodie and shorts. The goal of that specific thing is like they release a packet every year telling you what the theme is. And it's usually all post-apocalyptic. That's like the overall theme, but sometimes there's like angels that are coming down, and they're like the last one I went to, the angels, basically these giant like demon-looking costume guys that could only hit you with melee, but they would only come out like once every hour, and then you'd hear like sirens go off, and then if they touch you, you're just done for the day. So the goal is you leave. You have to like run from them. They can't shoot you. They can't die from shooting. But they get more frequent as the day goes on until it's the end, and either you're in a shelter where they can't get to you, or you're out in the field and you die.
So out of curiosity, let's say that, because for anybody listening, we're not here making plans. At this point, I'm just discussing this because it interests me. Let's say that you went this year, right?
Yeah.
And it starts at 6 a.m. You get there, everything's ready, start, right? 6:15, you're killed. What happens?
So,
you just fucked? Do you just have to leave? Like,
No. So there's respawn points.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that can permakill you is special monsters.
Characters, yeah.
And those are very rare in the very early stages. They only become a real threat towards the end of the day.
I got you. Yeah, because that happened to me at that paintball thing I was talking about. It was only a 1-day thing, but essentially there used to be this big like sportsplex, and they tore it down, but the sportsplex stayed, and they built like this tiny metal building on the like kind of the middle back part of it, and filled it with just like concrete barriers and like the things that you see in like actual paintball competitions, like the big pylons that are made of like squishy material. And so they had all of these kind of things like laid out. And what happened is one side sat on one side of the field, the other side sat on the other side of the field. And then I think it lasted like 4 or 5 hours, but it was like basically like a trench warfare simulation kind of thing. And I literally got shot maybe 20 minutes into it starting, and they were just like, well, you're out. And I was like, oh.
This one is not like that. So you're thinking of a more traditional style of airsoft. This is literally to the extent of, we're going to throw you out in the field and you're going to RP the whole day that you are in a wasteland environment. There's no true objective. You make your own objective kind of thing. And while there are people that will, of course, shoot you occasionally, the amount of times I think I only got shot like 5 times last time I went. And that's 12, that's 2 days of having, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah. Only shot 5 times. I shot way more than I got shot.
out of curiosity, in your opinion, because I've only had one, what hurts worse, an airsoft or a paintball?
Paintball.
Really? Because I think
Paintball,
about
they leave big welts.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But, like, the airsoft, I figured they're smaller and they, like... I know they're not going to penetrate you, but they seem like they'd, like, get you. Like, stick you. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, so here's the difference, right? Before you go into a field, they chrono, which is like they measure how fast a certain airsoft gun shoots. So like FPS, feet per second. And they put different tape on your gun. And it'll be like, if you have green tape, you can shoot from any distance. I could like put my gun on your back and then shoot you.
Yeah.
However, if you have like yellow tape, you have to stand like, I don't know, 50 feet away. Something like that. If you have red tape, you have to be like 100 feet away. Those aren't exact, but that's exactly like... And then paintball, again, they leave welts, right?
Yeah.
Airsoft won't do that. Like, I'm sure they'll be like little marks, but they sting, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's gone.
I feel that. You know, it's funny you point out about the distance stuff, though, so that, in theory, then, if, like, let's say you're red tape guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a green tape guy, and you're hiding behind a tree, you don't hear me, I come up behind you, you turn around just in time, you can't shoot me then, because, like, if I'm right behind you?
Yeah, because the idea is that the people that would have red tape are, like, people with snipers anyway.
Yeah.
And they would most likely have a sidearm.
Yeah, so they'd have to get that before... I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is fascinating to everyone. We hope you all show up in Chesapeake for Rev, because we've discussed it for 20 minutes.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is to just roll up in my hoodie and shorts. Like, of course, I would enjoy dressing up, but I don't care too much as long as I don't look... nice. And when they say post-apocalyptic, you can go in there looking normal. They just don't want you to be all tactical like people do in airsoft. Yeah, some people will like put on the military vests, the tactical visors, shit like that.
Yeah,
they're like, we want you to fit the theme. You can wear normal clothes, but if you wanna dress up, dress like Fallout.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The currency is literally bottle caps. So
yeah. No, that tracks, yeah. And it's great because they also have all kinds of drugs.
What?
Psycho, Med-X, Buff Out, Mentats, whatever you need, man. I mean, it's all just different forms of heroin they've created alive, but like they'll put it in whatever bottle you want. Call it anything you need.
No, but it is funny because one of the rarest items you can get. This is why one of the things why I love Rev is because my first time going there, we went one day, and I had made a video on YouTube leading up to that, and I posted it before I went. I was like, "This is my Rev kit." I think I privated it because I'm like, "This is goofy. I don't want to watch it. I don't want people to see this anymore." But we go and we're walking around, and some of the people, like the actual people that work there. They see me, I'm in line doing something, and they just walk up and they shoot me, and then they heal me with a stim pack because that's the rarest item. Because it can heal you anywhere as long as someone alive uses it on you. Heal you with a stim pack, and then they go, "We saw your video, we liked it, so we're gonna give you a gift," and they just give me the stim pack. So keep in mind, right? When you start the day, you only have like 5 bottle caps, and a bottle cap can get you like a drink. A stim pack,
you run out of bottle caps, you just gotta die of thirst out there.
So a stim pack could cost. It depends on the market because it does fluctuate because everyone determines the value. But usually it starts off at like 100 or something crazy. So, and the other thing is that. You may think, oh, I'll just bring in all my bottle caps. And while that does help, every year they specifically get custom printed bottle caps, which is like the official currency. Yeah. And the other like any bottle caps you bring can still be used, but they're like, if the regular bottle caps are dollars,
Yeah.
Like the ones that they made for the event are dollars.
Yeah.
Your bottle caps are like quarters.
Wouldn't that suck for them though? If like a bunch of people brought their own bottle caps, and so they're having to take on 4 times as many bottle caps from like all their
No,
shit.
because I think at the end of the day, this is just what I'm thinking, right? I'm pretty sure that they make money for recycling those bottle caps.
That makes sense.
So they probably,
funny,
they're not even mad.
I went to your channel, and you, in fact, do have your top viewed video is from Rev 11. So
Is that the one with the grenade?
it says Rosvandian public execution.
Okay. I want to tell you something so funny about that video.
I mispronounced that name entirely, but anyway, go ahead.
That video is so that guy is very cool. Did you actually watch that video by any chance?
I have seen it. I'm not right this second, but I've watched it. Yeah.
So you know how everyone, like, people walk up to him and throw a grenade down on him?
Yeah.
Because he was going to let someone execute him for a bounty, because you can place bounties on people. He was going to get a friend to execute him and go get the bounty so we could share the caps. Someone walks up, throws a grenade, and I thought it was so funny. I post it. I post it. Nothing happens for like a whole year.
Yeah.
You want to know how that video got so many views?
Sure. Lay it on.
Russia started invading Ukraine. I can look at the analytics.
Sound like a Russian name.
I can look at the analytics, and I can tell you right now.
To clarify for everyone, I'm not laughing about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I'm laughing at the fact that you do seem to have gotten about double-digit 1,000 views. And it does sound kind of like a Eastern European name. Rizvadian.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
like that does kind of sound like something going on in Russia.
So let me pull up the analytics.
Oh, lay it on me.
So it has 15,000 views. Its average watch time is all the way up there. Its audience, the audience for this video, if I make sure, it says since published, is 100% male.
That's not shocking.
And it says here, it is 100% 65 years of age and up. So people that are over 65 are watching this video because of the Russian versus Ukraine thing.
Now, the male, I'll believe. The being 65 and up, I don't necessarily believe, because you don't have to verify age with YouTube. So it could be a bunch of 10-year-olds that like made their age 100. You know what I mean? And then like.
But hear me out, right? We say this, but I can go to my other videos and it'll tell me that, okay, these videos are being watched by people that are around 25, which is like 25 and under. This is the only video that is 65 and up. So it's like there's some credibility there.
Because it's so much obviously not what I imagine people think it is. What's its like-dislike ratio right now? Because, I can't see dislikes.
Well, this video has also gotten me 17 subscribers. And the people who watch it the most are from the United States, but the second one is the United Kingdom and Germany.
Well, hey.
Traffic sources. I'm gonna get to the likes, but the traffic sources are from suggested videos. How can I see? I could see it somewhere. You can tell me the cities. Apparently 10 people from Bangkok, Thailand watched it. That's pretty funny.
I mean, hey. If it works.
I agree.
I'm literally on the Balahack website trying to see if you they shared your video or something, being like,
I don't think so, because I'm telling you the truth. As soon as I remember distinctly, because it was that November that it peaked.
I feel that.
Okay, so you want likes versus dislikes.
Yeah, because I'm just curious, because if like people saw it and were like, oh, this is what I wanted, or if they were like, oh, wait, this isn't what I meant to click on.
I'm trying to get to it. Give me a second. Engagement, I think. Maybe.
I want to point out to anybody, if you want, you can go to Ballahack Airsoft and buy a combat machine, automatic repeating pistol, and 9 SMG for a cool $400.
I don't actually
of course, not
see...
a real SMG.
Oh wait,
I don't want
you're
people
right.
going there being like, you told me I could buy an SMG here.
Likes versus dislikes it's 67%.
Yeah, so that I think that plays in a little more into the, like, people were like, wait, this isn't what I was thinking I was gonna be clicking on.
Yeah. It was mostly shared on Facebook and Reddit.
I could believe that. Oh man.
Oh no, wait, this is what I was looking for. This is how I know. Okay, listen. Because it tells me the search terms that they used to find it. And I can tell you exactly what they searched. Public execution is number 1. Public executions is number 2.
I'm sub to you, so maybe it won't work. If I just type in public executions, I wonder how long until you show up. Let's see. Now, I would like to clarify that while I do not have a weak constitution necessarily, I do not want to watch actual public executions, so I don't necessarily want to click these videos to see if it gets recommended, but I'm just going to scroll down a ways, just, see if you pop up in the first couple run-throughs of pages.
But it's so interesting because, like, that is in the title, but this is an airsoft grenade.
Yeah, nothing
happens. And people can't, people who are watching it that are, like, old and don't understand are like, why are you joking about this? What are you doing? I remember Khaled having a field day in my comment section, just being like, yeah, you are dumb. This is airsoft.
God. I mean...
Content. Oh, I can tell you what videos are suggesting it if you would like to hear that.
Sure. What's the top what video is being like, oh, if you like this, we got a banger for you?
What video, you say? If it will load... The web browser is being mighty dumb at this second. Excuse me, fucking.
If y'all don't hear any of this, it's good Jacob cut it, because he had to take a while to search up his stuff. I'm vamping as best as I can.
You're good. I had to reopen the webpage because it was being dumb.
My city's getting a Wawa, and I'm kind of excited for that.
A Wawa. So, the first thing suggesting it is Execution Director's Cut full movie.
Oh.
The next thing is...
That's actually really funny.
Execution of Leonard Siflit, one of the most brutal photo of the world. And there's a bunch of like Bangkok execution stuff, World War II, Japan, stuff like that. It's like none of it's like I can see why people are so confused because all like besides the few like movie references here, all the rest of these are like actual history stuff. And YouTube's like, yes, we're placing you in here.
That's fair. I feel ya.
I almost wanted to take it down because I was like, these aren't the people I'm trying to get this to trying to get to see this.
No, I feel that for sure. Yeah, you gotta. It's one of those things where you have to weigh the pros and cons. Like for instance, before I purged my YouTube channel and started again, I had a video up that it wasn't really like offensive in any way, but it was me and my co-host slash girlfriend at the time. Well, we weren't dating actually, which is part of why I took it down. Reading a fan fiction someone in my stream had written about us as a joke. And it started this like it got kind of popular, like a couple thousand views, and then it started like the people that were watching like my follow-up videos had a little bit of a different. They're a little more perverts than the original audience, and I had to kind of put a kibosh on that because at the time I played a lot of dating sims and stuff, and so originally it was just nice weebs, and then it went on to be like people making some kind of crude comments about characters and such.
Mm. Yeah, it was very interesting. I decided to keep it up because one, I like the event, and that was a really funny moment of that event. So if people were like, what is Revelations about? I want them to see that so they can see what kind of funny stuff happens.
I feel that, yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, there are moments that I have where I'm like, I kind of wish I had like recorded this for like a little YouTube thing, but then I'm like, eh.
There is a funny moment from the first Rev that I went to. Mm-hmm. And we'll end like the Rev talk with this, but I see my friend Noah, who is huge, like huge as in tall. And of course, the taller you are, you're slightly bigger in general. Like your build is bigger. So he's standing over there. He has all his gear on, and he's talking to a group of people, and they have like a little circle formed. And I'm like, I want to join the circle. My friend's here. So I walk over, and as soon as I walk over, in the center of the circle, an airsoft grenade rolls into it. And I look down, and everyone runs except Noah. Noah stands perfectly still, and he's like, where is everyone running? Because at the time, he couldn't wear his glasses under his goggles. Yeah. And he didn't have contacts, so he couldn't see it, but also his line of sight is so much higher than the ground. So he just couldn't notice that a grenade had rolled. So I looked at it, and instead of telling him that, hey, there's a grenade at your feet, I literally just sidestepped and stood in his shadow. It made him take the grenade.
The poor man. I will say, and we're wrapping up this Rev talk very soon, everyone. Don't worry, we'll also be wrapping up the episode with it. But what I was gonna say is, and I actually had a bit or a little thing for us to read, but we'll get to that next episode. But my last little question about all this: what does an airsoft grenade do, and how do you know you've been hit by it?
There's two types. There's a bang grenade, which is just you put a CO2 cartridge. Do you know what that is? Yeah. It's just that metal tube. You put it in there, and then when you pull the tab, the cartridge starts to expand until it it explodes. Yeah. There's a ban on those, not like legally, but like you can use them. Yeah. You can use them on the field, but they have a bunch of those metal storage containers. Mm-hmm. And one year, it was always banned, but one specific year, a kid had one and threw it in there, and it's so loud, especially in a hollow container that's just because it's an echo chamber. It blew out some dude's eardrums.
Yeah, I can imagine. So the other kind, lights up or something?
No. The other one is you pour BBs in it. You put the CO2 in it. And then when you pull the tab and you throw it, it slowly releases. And there's two. So either it explodes and all the BBs fire out of it in the explosion like the first one. Yeah. Or there's a bunch of different holes in the side and it shoots up and spins and all the BBs go out in a little, those little fireworks you put on concrete and they spin, kind of like that, but with BBs.
I gotcha. Well, with that,
when I say I stood in Noah's shadow, it was one of the ones that exploded. So he just took all of them.
Lord. Well, we're going to do you a solid and take an airsoft grenade straight to the junk just for you and tell you that this is the end of the episode. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. If you would like to see the video version, you can find it on our YouTube channel at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. If you would like to listen to the audio version, you can find it on Spotify at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. You can find me again at Pixelated Trash. You can find Jacob again at NazirTL. And we would like to say a big thank you to our music, link to the providers down in the description. And we will see you all on the next episode. Thank you again for watching or listening.
Bye.
Bye.